Yeah, that does sound fun. Yeah, we're gonna take the drone and just try to get some sick shots. Okay, so yeah, don't forget to remind me about the taboo game.
Okay.
I'm going to, like, has it been a while since you guys played, or have you played recently?
It's been a while.
I never played.
You never played?
Oh, really?
Oh my god, it gets
Oh,
so
do
crazy.
you know the concept?
Mm,
So there's a word, and there's certain words. You have to try to describe the word without saying it, and then there are also other forbidden words.
Okay.
So like,
It's like a charades game, but it's spoken word.
yeah. So let's say like the word is like Trump,
Okay.
and then the forbidden words are like MAGA,
Gotcha.
you know, conservative, whatever. Yeah.
that's easy.
But you have to still describe it, and other people are guessing what the word is
Okay.
based off of the description. It's more like
Okay.
thinking.
It's interesting.
When was the last time you played?
Oh, it's been a while. Maybe like 10 years.
10 years. Oh my
Yeah. But it's so fun.
god. So I'm thinking of doing like game night on either Fridays or Saturday nights at like 8 o'clock, and then so afterwards we can all go out if the group wants to go
Oh.
out too.
Yeah. And like bring snacks and stuff.
Yeah. What kind of snacks are you gonna bring?
Yeah, I was like, I brought grapes and blackberries.
Oh, yeah, you want
and
some-
it was like, I was just like,
want some
"Why'd you
snacks
bring
right
those?"
now?
What, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. He texted me like, "Is this a thing?" I'm like, I didn't respond.
You want some?
Yeah, grab them, give it to her.
Nah, I'll wait.
You'll wait. Okay.
I don't want anything in my teeth.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
All right. I'm just gonna make sure I have the link that we can post this so some people can see us live. It's already streaming, you guys, by the way.
How many people do you have watching?
None.
How many people do you have that watch your videos? Like, what's the average?
I get more people to watch on Instagram, honestly,
Really?
than to YouTube. Yeah. When I was posting every day, I was getting like 5,000 views per short. And
Oh, wow.
that was good, but then I stopped. I stopped for a little
Yeah.
while.
So you
So
lost.
yeah, I lost that momentum. I keep doing that shit. Remember what I did with TikTok? Did I ever tell you about my TikTok?
Mm-mm.
I had like 400,000 followers on TikTok.
Wow.
Like it happened in a real short time. And then I was like, I didn't expect for all this to happen. So I was like, I didn't care about it. And I stopped posting for like 6 months and like it died and it wouldn't let me, like I would post and then I couldn't get
You fell
those
off the
views. Yeah,
algorithm.
for real. I did
Mhm.
fall off the algorithm. Yeah.
Wow.
All right, you guys, I'm gonna let you guys go first with this so I can post to the Instagram. But here's the first question. How long should you message someone back and forth on a dating app before actually meeting up? Who wants to go first?
I feel like the general line is 2 weeks.
Bro, remember the
That's
only rule I
Wow.
have in this.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Scoot your chair up if you need to.
Go ahead. Is that too quick?
No, I feel like if I vibe with someone, like 2 days.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm
Fast
down.
you go.
If a guy wants to talk to me for 2 weeks, I feel like he's not that
Too
interested.
long. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the limit.
But I don't know.
But would you say most girls would say 2 days or 2 weeks?
I think maybe a week. I think a week.
First day's too fast.
Yeah, first day is a little too fast. But like 2 days, you're like having fun and like, I don't know. Let's not waste any time.
It's not wasted.
So does that include having a phone conversation?
Yeah. a
Like
phone
before?
call. Mhm.
So just like one phone conversation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just, I mean, you can tell if they're weird or not, you know?
Like mandatory phone conversation or maybe not?
I usually like to have a phone conversation because people can, like texting, you can kind of like, there's a delay, so you don't know if they're like asking people or like how to respond or whatever. But if you're, what are you doing?
I'm trying to post the Instagram story so we can get more views. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Don't be distracted
Yeah,
by
like
me.
a general checklist of questions.
I'm trying to do everything all at once, so forgive me. Keep going.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you can feel someone out more on a telephone call. So at least one phone call.
What do you say, Matt?
That's fair enough.
And I feel
maybe
like-
even a video call.
Oh,
That's
that's a bit, that's a lot.
That's too much. Oh, man.
No, I don't think that's too much. I mean, as long as it's not like an hour long one. If it's a super short one.
As long as you let me know in advance, that's fine. But like a surprise, like video chat out of nowhere, like that's, I wouldn't answer it.
No, not out of nowhere. Like you give them some warning, like, yo, I just want to see, see your face real quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. The next question. Biggest challenges in modern dating. I know we got some challenges. You guys are not perfect.
No, there are a lot of challenges.
Okay, top 3 at least.
Go ahead.
False expectations, maybe.
Unrealistic expectations.
Maybe just false.
Bro, you breaking the rule again. You gotta either move your chair forward or. I told them you could talk about trans, anything, you could curse, you could talk about war, like just don't mess up the number 1 rule. Okay, so unrealistic expectations.
Yeah. Just maybe that.
Did your shit droop?
Maybe.
Yeah, you probably have to fix that.
I think it's just a lack of communication.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We got to get better at it.
That's a big one. Yeah.
What else? Miley, go for it.
Just finding a genuine person. Like a lot of people are not who they say they are. And then you meet them and it's a disappointment.
Yeah.
And sometimes they can keep that facade up for like a while, like a few dates.
Like give us an example of, maybe not specific, but like what's a facade someone can keep up?
Like they pretend like, they're this baller or whatever, and then slowly like it starts falling away.
Well, I mean, nobody wants to come straight up and be like, I'm broke.
Well, I would rather have someone be like modest and, I don't know, show me where they're at from the beginning rather than try to like fool me into this like elaborate, luxurious lifestyle and then like slowly like pull back.
But the thing is you wouldn't stick around probably if you found out that motherfucker's broke.
You don't know.
I mean, I'm not saying you specifically, like girls in general.
If they have a good personality and they have ambition, then they have a future,
Off camera, I have to tell you what me and Matt were talking about. I don't want to put myself on the spot right now, but yeah, it has to do with what you just said.
For the podcast.
Yeah, my fragile ego will be crushed. Okay. All right. What do you have to say about that, Matt? Biggest challenges? Anything else?
I think the big reason for the lack of communication is that ego for the facade we try to hold up, and like not, or even at times we can't even explain ourselves the way we want to, right? Because of that ego, I think. But yeah, that's what I got right there.
That's fair. Well, I got a gang of questions, you guys, so we don't have any lack.
Wait, what's your top 3?
My biggest challenges?
Yeah.
I never really thought about it. I don't have a hard time. No, I'm just kidding. I think for sure one of the challenges is that girls, sometimes they think money just grows on trees and they don't realize how difficult it is sometimes to afford a house in Orange County. And so like if you don't have a house, I mean, like at least $1 million house is just a normal run of the mill, type of house. So if you don't have that, and they want to have a family, then they're going to just discredit you right away. They're going to be like, he's not ready. And yeah, so that's the first one is like, I feel like girls want that instant gratification because they see so much on social media and like guys balling out and like that being the norm.
So, I mean, I think you're reaching a bias here though, just because maybe you're first generation as well, because there's plenty of other generations, that have that isn't on that level,
Yeah, but I'm just saying with this whole TikTok era, Instagram era, like everyone sees like, oh, that guy's taking his girl out on vacations, then that guy is,
keeping up with the Joneses. You think society's affected by that?
I think there's a lot more of that now with social media.
Well, aren't they like finally regulated in schools now? I think even because it's noticeable. I'm not sure.
Really? Schools are regulating social media?
Or like, I guess taking the phone away. during school.
Oh, really?
time.
I think that's a good thing.
so, like,
I mean, I was a
that
substitute.
makes
I never
sense.
took no one's phone away.
You're a bad teacher.
As long as
To
you're
the
not.
debauchery, right?
I was so bad sometimes. Like the kids would have like math questions, and I'm really good at math, and I'd be like, "I'm sorry, math is my worst subject."
He's an engineer. Yeah, right?
So I don't know anything about math. I'm sorry, sweetie. Okay, so all right. Let's see other modern challenges in modern dating. Oh, another one too. I feel like back in the and this goes for guys and girls. I feel like back in the day you only had a certain radius of people that you were gonna be able to meet in your lifetime. And now you see, okay, so for guys it's like you see so many beautiful faces, right? Like, and so you start comparing the average chick to the faces you see online, and so guys are thinking that they can get a lot better than what they shoot out of their league because they, and then vice versa, girls, they think that every guy is making six figures or more than that. Every guy's a millionaire, where if you do the statistics, like it's a very few percentage of men that they both are rich but look good too. So it's like this unrealistic.
But I mean, if he has money, he could be a little fat, right? That's all right.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not that picky.
You're healthy,
You're asking the wrong person.
No, I don't think it's all right. I think girls and guys are the same in terms of like you are attracted to what you're attracted to. You don't know if that guy has money when he walks up to you in a bar or a club. All you can judge him on is that first appearance. If you're not super into, if you're prioritizing financial, then okay, I get that. A lot of girls, but in general, everyone is attracted to the best looking person.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not a psychologist, so don't quote me. All right, let's go on to the next question. Let's see. Wait, do you have some comments on that?
No, you're just. I feel like you're rushing it. I feel like
okay.
there's a lot there.
Yeah. Okay. Let me slow it down. Stop me. I'm sorry. Slow me down.
What do you have to say about it?
Yeah.
I do agree that expectations now are being skewed by social media and what everyone else thinks is out there and what everyone else is doing. So everyone kind of needs, like, I think that's why there's so many single people now, because everyone has this idea that they can do better or they can get better. So they're holding out. But there's a lot of people that are in normal relationships that are happy too. So you just have to ground yourself, I think.
Like, okay, in our grandparents' time, it was way different, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So what was so different?
It's the apps, everything's at your fingertips now.
Yeah, it's being able to have different options and someone that meets certain things and someone that meets another thing, and you think you can find another one that's a little bit better. You find someone that's okay, but you think, okay, well, if I can get this, maybe I can do a little bit better.
That's exactly what I was saying too, and I'm guilty of it too. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's like, I don't think you're a bad person because of it, but I just think that it comes with the territory of social media.
Yeah, it's messing with everyone, not in a good way. I think being able to, I don't think it's settling, but finding someone that you can just be happy with and not keep looking around is really hard to do when you have so many options and you see other people in relationships, doing all these other things.
We're good at angles too. Right?
Good at what?
Good at angles in their pictures.
Oh, I know, right?
For more, right?
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like, I feel like in our grandparents' time, there are certain qualities that were being prioritized. Like, is he a good man? Is he a hard worker? But now it's like, does his social media, match with mine?
Yeah, the values are different.
Aesthetic.
And I don't think they're good values.
Yeah. Well, good in the sense of like a long-term relationship, because I could see a lot of short-term relationships working out just fine. Like, you find the person that is most suited toward your goals in life at that time. But people get older. You're not always going to be beautiful, and you're going to, you know, be 60 years old one day and then like
Right.
so
I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you do?
yeah, I think Miley was offered some deal with the devil that I never got. So. Okay, so any other comments on like modern dating?
No.
No.
Now we can move on.
Okay, for sure. Let's see. Would you? Oh, this is the one that me and you came up with on the phone. Would you rather meet somebody while they're building or after they have already been established? And this goes for you too. Like the girl is kind of chunky, you know, she needs some work. You gotta like, you know, gotta put that elbow grease into her, you know. That's you know, whatever. So, but like for you, it would obviously be the, you know, financials and, you know, the guy trying to be successful. Who wants to go first?
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. I have no problem, you know, trying to work out with her, right? Get her skinny. But I do think the problem is there because I've always kind of been beautiful, so I know how to handle it, right?
Oh, wow.
Not
Yeah.
that good. Not that good. Average. And then some people don't know how to handle it. You know, they don't know how to take that. Just being different.
Let's kind of brainstorm what else would what would entail putting work into a girl. I feel like guys sometimes are their wisdom, you know, like
Cooking.
Oh man,
I thought girls were supposed to know that.
Yeah, so what if she doesn't know how to cook?
Okay, yeah, that's that's a good example of like maybe he's 10 years older than her, right? And she's willing, she just and she wants to, but she just doesn't really know. So the guy's like maybe, and you know, the best chefs in the world are guys. So she's willing to learn, so like he kind of like shows her the ropes, but that I'm talking that as like a metaphor for everything else in life too. Like maybe she's not as street smart, maybe she doesn't have as much life experience, so like are you willing to take her under your wing?
I think we're getting into the age conversation here now, right? Like,
but that's more so of like putting work into a girl. If she was already super sharp, she already knew how to cook well, like she was just well-rounded in every area, that would be the type of girl that like you'd wait at the finish line for, right? But the other type of girl is like, you know, she's a little bit chunky, you know, she doesn't understand the real world as much. But what are some other examples of like a guy needing to put work into a girl?
I don't know. It just depends on what you want from a girl.
I mean, like, no, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like some women take men on as projects, and like projects will go on vice versa.
Who do you think does that more, women or men?
Women.
Oh.
Yeah.
You guys are like the natural nurturers.
Yeah.
Guys
I
are like
think so.
warriors, like, yo, kill or be killed.
Yeah. Because I don't think guys are really, I don't know, maybe, but they are, but I don't think guys are really,
Looking for a project?
Yeah, what's the word?
yeah, like looking to gain anything. I don't know, are you?
Yeah, I just want to put babies in her, you know? Like, if she can do that, then I can compromise a lot of the other stuff. Okay, now for you. Are you waiting at the finish line, Miley, or are you going to take on that home improvement project that needs a little bit of elbow grease?
So I think it has to do with age, like where they are in their life. Like if they're in their 30s, 20s, obviously they're not going to be like well established. And if they have the ambition and they show promise, yeah, like I'll be there, I'll build with him, whatever. But if he's like 40, 50, and he's still in that phase where he's like, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, like I'm like building and I got all these ideas, but he really hasn't done anything.
But what if that same guy, let's say he's 50, right? And he doesn't have shit. And he's like, I'm the entrepreneur. But then like, you're like, yo, I'm not about to put this work into this guy, right? But in 2 years, he goes off and makes like, you know, $100 million. Cause it's not like he wasn't doing anything, but like, it's just like, what about then? Like, do you think you'd have the foresight to see that he's on the brink of something?
So it has to do with his attitude and ambition. And even if like I was like, no, I don't want to be with you, and then 2 years later he like blows up, I'd have too much pride to go back and be like, hey.
Yeah. I think it's every guy's dream who's like at the bottom to one day be like, see, I told you, bitch. See, I told you.
Best revenge is success,
it's probably best
right?
you don't go back because you probably will rub it in real hard. Okay, so back to the question, are you waiting at the finish line for the winner, or are you willing to have a project that could eventually be something special? Summing it up, for me, what would those two things look like, right? The girl is beautiful, in shape, and she's got a great attitude and all, versus the girl who is a little bit chunky, is not as smart, is maybe not as I don't know, like she doesn't know how to do all the things. That's a tough one. I think it depends on where I am in life, right? Because if I'm already super established in everything, I kind of want you to be on the same level. Like I think I deserve to catch the fish that I'm more equal with, right? But if I'm at the starting stages, then I can't have too much expectation. Like I can be like, all right, I'm willing to work on a project because I'm a project myself.
Well, I don't know. In my experience, guys that are really well established, what they look for is just a girl that won't give them drama.
Peace.
Yeah, they just want a simple girl. Doesn't matter what she's doing, where she's at. I mean, yeah, they want her to look nice, but
at the same time, that's the finish line girl.
Is it?
Yeah. Like you don't have to teach her to give you peace. She just gives you peace. Right? Okay. Let me ask you, Matt.
Okay.
You have two options.
Right.
Both of these girls give you peace.
Okay.
But one's like 50 pounds overweight.
Uh-huh.
Which one are you choosing?
Oh, I mean,
and you're already established.
And I'm ready, right? Oh, no.
We know what you're picking.
Right?
Come on.
That's someone's dick, right? You know what I want to pick, right? Yeah.
So, okay. I think it just goes back to like, where are you at? Like, are you worthy of getting the girl at the finish line?
It is, and it really does depend, and you don't want to have over expectations either. It'd be wrong with me now, right?
Yeah.
If I was fat too, right, or 50 pounds overweight, you're like, nah.
I do think that, I mean, there's another component that's not tangible, and it's like chemistry, how well you get along with them. That both of those things don't, if you have a really strong connection with someone, like both of those things kind of go out the window too.
Yeah. I think like where you're at in life is like a third factor. It's always definitely maybe appearance and then the connection, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so boiling it down, because these are all good points. Chemistry kind of weighs a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Where you are at in life, that's also very important. Is there any other like big factors that would determine if you're going to take on a project or finish line? You don't like that, huh? When I say it's project?
No.
It sounds cruel or what?
We're human. We're people.
I mean, you girls are the ones who do it more than us. So you should have a conversation with the feminists. Okay, so it's kind of a hard question, but I think we hit two important points, right? Where you are at in life and chemistry. Okay, let's move on. I'm not gonna ask this question. Here's a good one. Do you find it hard to be attracted to what's good for you rather than what you desire? Oh, why are you smiling? Why are you smiling, Miss Toxic?
What?
Why are you smiling, huh? What was that smirk for?
Obviously, we're not single by accident.
It's true. We could have all been in relationships far long ago, right?
Yeah.
But no, that's not true either. Because like, what if all those people weren't necessarily good for you? So are you attracted to what's good for you, or what, is not necessarily good for you?
Both, right? I mean, I'm attracted to what I'm attracted to.
Maybe we don't know what's good for us.
Yeah, we don't. I'm sure we don't. I think we think we know what's good for us, right? That's what we run with. So we make our own mistakes, waste our own time.
I think it's there's certain values that have stood the test of time, right? But like back to the other conversation of like dating apps, like we've changed our values, right? So if we go back to the old values, what are like the old values? Then that will be clear what's good for you. So like old values, traditional values of grandparents, the man is financially stable. That's one thing that's good for you. On the woman's side, the woman is motherly and nurturing. There's probably a lot more traditional values. Loyalty, yeah.
Faith.
Yeah, definitely. Honesty. Right? Like people lie nowadays a lot, right?
Yeah, but it's hard to tell if someone's honest. Like people are like really good liars.
Is it okay to lie about some things that are not important? Like, do I look fat in this dress? No, baby.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Okay. Okay, so the question.
But if you're in a relationship and you really love them, they should look good in everything. To you.
If you love them, then
yeah.
Of course. Okay, to reiterate the question.
Do you love them so much that you're not going to tell them they need to work on their weight?
That's true too. Yeah. Do you love them more if you give them the tough love instead?
I would appreciate.
Is there a limit, or are you just gonna start getting fat with them too? You know?
See, like for the long-term goal, I would appreciate honesty. For like a short-term, like I just need a boost of confidence. Just lie to me.
You could also be tactful with your words too.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you look great, baby. It's a little bit tight around the hips, though. You know.
That's just not the time to bring it up. Bring it up another time.
Right. Yeah. There's a time and place. Okay, to reiterate the question, do you find it hard to be attracted to what's good for you?
No, I don't think so.
No? You think you're mature enough to know that, you know, it's not...
No, I don't think I know. No. I think it's good for me, so I go for it.
It will make me happy in the moment. What about you, Miley? You think you're mature enough to know what's good for you?
I think at this stage I am. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's just really hard to find that, like, selection is really...
Yeah, you're competing with the rest of the girls that want that too.
Yeah, uh-huh. Competition is tough, but also the selection is not that great. Yeah.
Is the selection not great because of a certain reason?
Yeah, the whole values thing. I feel like everyone's values are a little messed up.
Yeah. Even for, like, our age group, not just the, you know... teenagers.
Yeah, our age group and the age group before. There's like
Max 4, I think.
There's 50-year-old men that still don't want to commit.
Yeah. I mean, damn. 50's kind of like pushing it like, yo, you kind of Yeah. Okay. Another question. Healthy ways of handling conflict in disagreements when you're in a relationship.
Healthy ways of handling conflict? Talking about it?
Really? You just want to talk about it the whole time? And just like talk and talk
No,
and talk?
I don't know. I think everyone's different and each couple is going to find what works for them, right? But for me, I think that if I talk about it and then take a break and then come back to it, that's usually what works.
I don't think so.
No?
No.
Okay, what do you think?
I think they know very well that they are crossing a boundary with you, and they were okay to cross that boundary because they know you well enough to know what you're okay with and what you're not okay with. So I think it's okay to express disapproval and be like, yo, you know I'm not cool with that, or you know how I feel about that.
I don't know about that. I don't think people know everything about what you're going to like or what you're not going to like.
If it's something that you don't know, then I would have enough sense to be like, well, she probably didn't know. So like, okay, I'll tell her this time, you know, and then you know.
Right.
So, but you know, you pretty much know mostly everything about somebody after you've dated them for like a year.
I don't think so.
No.
Unless they're
like, okay, if you have kids, you've never been in that situation before. You don't know how it's going to be.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, but like, I mean, we're talking about conflict, right? The kid is not a conflict.
Okay. You're not.
you knew it wasn't going to be a cakewalk to raise a child. You knew it was going to be at least as hard as raising a pet, and everybody's had a pet at some point, so you know it's going to take some work, right? So
those are conflicts.
the conflict would be like, yo, you're changing the diapers and I'm, buying the diapers and getting all the baby food, right? So like, how would we handle that conflict? We would just say, this is your role and this is my role.
Yeah, but if you don't agree,
well,
there's the conflict.
Okay, so I guess here's the answer to the question is bring up as many of your boundaries as early on as possible so the person knows what not to cross.
Yeah.
And you guys know what you guys will agree on and disagree on before it becomes a conflict. Like, try to communicate that, premeditate the communication.
I feel like that's a bit much in the beginning of a relationship.
It always scares people too often.
Yeah.
Kind of like, it's like trauma dumping in a way, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh.
No, I don't agree. I want her to let me know, like, as much as possible, as early on as possible. So I'm like, okay, I got you kind of figured out,
See, the thing is with you, like, I just know from talking to you, you bring these things up in a way where it's kind of like funny, like it's a lighthearted joke.
Right.
But then, like,
but I'm dead serious about it.
Yeah, but when
I'm
you
not.
talk about things in that way, like, people don't really take it seriously.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, just bring it up subtly. don't be too direct about it. And but yeah, I guess it goes back to that, right? Just like, how do you handle conflict is don't get into one in the first place. And
you can't avoid that. So okay, so you get into a conflict, get into argument. She crossed a boundary of yours. How do you handle that situation?
Leave her.
Dang, that's not conflict resolution.
Give her a warning and then leave her. No, like, okay, let's say, for example, I'm not saying I'm okay with this and not okay with this, but like, we're dating and then she wants to go out with her girlfriends to like a club for someone's birthday, right? I'm not saying I'm not okay with it, and I'm not saying I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, if that were a situation, and let's say hypothetically I wasn't okay with it, but she really wanted to. She knows she's not going to be a slut, and
hypothetically.
Yeah, hypothetically. I'm not in a relationship.
I feel like you brought this hypothetical situation up before.
Because I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. If I could, I would say something else. But I'll probably think of something down the way. But let's just say that happened and it turned into a conflict, right? Let's say I wasn't okay with her going and she went anyways. So that's a conflict, right? How would we handle that? How would you handle it, Matt?
I don't know. I'll let her go. I'll let her go. Usually I have no problem with it. Yeah.
I mean, obviously you'd have that clear communication with her, right?
Yeah.
And say like, yo, I'm just really uncomfortable with this. Like, can you respect that I'm not feeling okay about that?
And yeah, I mean, okay. Yeah.
So you would kind of be intolerant. You would eventually say the relationship has to end if you're going to continue.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So vice versa, his boys are sluts, and he's not necessarily one. But people act different when they're in the influence of bad influences, right? Mm-hmm. So he's like, but baby, like, yo, it's his birthday. I haven't seen him for a long time, and like, we just want to go out, and his friends are sluts, and that he's not going to get into anything good with them. So how do you handle a conflict at that point? And then it's not just a one-time thing. It's been repeated a few times. You communicated your boundaries, but he broke the boundary.
So if it's a boundary, like make or break thing, then yeah, you have to end it. But if it's just like something like, I don't really like it, that I don't like it, can you just like do this for me kind of thing, and he doesn't want to do it, it's annoying, but I might just be like, fine, whatever, it's not worth it.
Choose your battles.
Yeah.
So there's like two schools of thought. One is everyone's getting divorced for any freaking reason nowadays, Mm-hmm. So you shouldn't just be like, I'm just going to leave her right away if she doesn't, or if he doesn't, you know what I mean? Like you should have more tolerance.
Values.
Yeah, like you got married and said till death do us part, so you should kind of keep that in mind,
Faith.
Besides, right. But then on the other school of thought is like, are you just going to keep tolerating people disrespecting you? So it's tough, right?
Yeah, no, and we're all getting too used to disrespecting each other, right? Or just social media in general.
I'm pretty respectful.
I know. I don't know. I'm respectful.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I know when I'm being an asshole, and I do it intentionally on purpose, and I'm really trying to get under your skin when I do it. But that's only when like we got beef, you know. Otherwise, I'm really cool to everyone.
Yeah.
So, okay, so back to the conflict resolution. I think the answer to it is have a good judge of character before committing to that person, because you'll know, like,
You can't premeditate and predict everything in a relationship. You're going to run into these issues. And if you want it to last, you need to figure out how to work it out in a way where you can stay with
it's
them.
either me being okay with the behavior and telling myself, well, it's really not that important, so I'll let it slide, or me being so fed up with it and saying, look, like, do you want this to end? Because I will walk away.
Yeah, but I think you still need to give people a chance, because not everyone has the same values as you. So if you let them know and they still do it, yeah, okay, that's fair. But if you let them know and they're like, I had no idea and I'll change, like...
Ooh, that's a good point. If they show remorse, then you can work with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so conflict resolution is if you are the person that's committing the act of I don't want to say crime, but like, what's the word for it? Like disapproval. Offense, yeah. If you're doing that, right, then you have to be receptive enough to want to change, right? And if you're not with a person who's gonna want to change, then that's your bad for even getting into that in the first place.
Yeah, you just have to decide if it's worth it or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Relationships are so complicated, aren't they? They're really not, but okay, let's move on. This question is beat. How do you keep the romance alive in a relationship? You're like, we don't know.
Right. Yeah, we would know, right?
Go ahead.
What's your longest relationship?
I don't want to put myself on the spot, you know, but I'm pretty short-lived relationships. I'm not very tolerant, so I think 5 years, but that was such a long time ago.
Wow, that's a long time.
It was kind of on and off because I was like, bitch, did you not hear what I said? This is over. And then she'd be like, baby, I'm sorry. Oh, all right, fine, let's work it out. And I feel like a lot of situations are like that too, right? It's like on and off, because it's like you are willing to walk away, but you love the person, so you want it to work. But it's like, yeah. Okay, so
Your turn.
yeah, what do you guys think?
5 years.
Oh, 2 years.
Oh man. Oh, you're intolerant too then. Over it.
You know, I feel like that's really attractive for a guy to hear that.
What?
That your longest relationship wasn't too long.
Really? Why?
How do you feel when you hear that? Not that you're trying to hit on her, but like if you were,
okay,
and she was like, my longest relationship was 10 years versus 2 years. How does that make you feel about dating her? Just like your first initial reaction as a guy. For me, I feel like if you have 10 years history with a motherfucker, then I don't know. That's just a.
I would think like, yeah, like, hey, you committed and it didn't work out. Then hey, now it's my turn, right? In 10 years.
Wow.
So wait, you're saying
but
it's
2 years. 2 years. I'm just like,
You're saying it's
2 years.
So that's the reaction I get is like, you don't know how to commit to someone. That's why your relationship's only been your longest relationship's only been 2 years.
Yeah, I would think too. Like, there's something wrong here. Like, somebody's like that.
That's not how I see it though, and I'm not just saying it because we're friends. I'm saying it because like if I was
generally how
trying to date a girl and she's okay, I see your guys' point too. Like 10 years, oh, that means that like she just picks one guy and
I'm
sticks
sure
with
you
him.
could be the other way around. I'm sure in those 2 years you kind of realize shouldn't stick around either, right? Like, why waste the next 3? Right? Catch up.
What about you? If you hear a guy say I've been in a relationship for 10 years versus one that says the longest one I've been in is 2 years.
Yeah.
That's frightening to me. Because if you're in a relationship with someone for 10 years, you should know them by then. And if you weren't going to stay with them, you should have figured that out in like the first 2 years.
That's a good. I think that then it's just really relative because my number's always been like 4 or 5. You know.
Like I'll see people get divorced after 20 years, 30 years, and I'm like, what changed? Like if I was with someone for 20 or 30 years, I think like, okay, I can relax. You know, like this is who I'm just gonna end up being with. And then after 30 years, you're like in the middle of a divorce. I would be frightened, like not to go back and date again. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so
what is that then? Yeah, like they just get fed up, right? For 20, 30
Yeah.
years. Couldn't have just committed, right? I'm guessing. Right? I don't know. Oh man.
Okay. Let's see. So the question initially was how to keep the romance alive, right?
Yeah.
So
Never answered.
I feel like this is an obvious answer, but
Oh, is it?
yeah, I feel
Tell
like
me.
it's okay. When you get into a real long relationship, you stop taking her to as much dates, right? So just treat her as if you guys are still dating, like in the beginning stages, right? Take her on dates. Take her on vacations. Kiss often. I feel like
I think it's
kissing,
little things.
right?
Mm-hmm.
If there's a sexual problem, like it's either the girl's hormones or it's the guy's hormones, go fucking see a doctor and get your hormones regulated so you guys have that strong sexual drive for each other. So you keep screwing and stay close.
Mm-hmm.
What else? If you are gonna have kids, make sure that there's some kind of system between you two where there's not, like, people know each other's roles and there's not as much disagreement.
Conflict, right?
Yeah, I guess going back to that, like early on, make sure you know the person's boundaries so that you don't step on their toes for stupid shit, you know? I mean, like, that would be a good starting point, you know, to keep the romance alive, right?
Do you have more? I mean, I feel like it's pretty good. Is that not enough?
I feel like, okay, another way to
small things.
Another thing too is girls are kind of psycho a little bit. Like they and I'm gonna explain what I mean by this is like
gotta be a little bit.
They like some kind of like they like a little bit of uncertainty and a little bit of conflict, as long as it's not like super toxic. Like,
I feel like guys like that.
Okay, then I'm just gonna say a blanket statement. I think people in general like a little bit of, you know,
Thrill.
ups and downs. Yeah, like that could be as simple as just like giving each other enough distance to miss each other. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to do anything crazy. It's just like keep that distance there so that the next time you see them, you're just like, oh my God, I missed you so much, versus like living together and you just see that motherfucker every day and like everything annoys you about them because you're around them so much.
But at some point, if you get married, isn't that what's going to happen though?
Yeah, but you know,
Closer
you
distance.
can keep the distance by like having, you know, jobs and you guys are like not in the house together all day. And I just think that distance makes you grow more fond of somebody and like miss them. So I feel like that's another component of keeping the romance alive.
Honestly, I just heard yesterday that distance kills the relationship. That's like the complete opposite, right? That was somebody was telling me yesterday.
No, but I do think that if you both have your own lives independent from each other, you'll always have something to talk about, something to learn from each other. And I think that that does help a relationship.
Yeah.
Can't be too codependent, right?
So, but on the flip side of that, though, to have some of the same values as well, like if you guys are, you know, both people of faith, I hope your faiths are the same, you know, like
Yeah.
that make it a lot easier. Okay, so back to keeping the romance alive, just like some of those basic things. It's not rocket science, I feel like, but don't quote me because I'm not the one.
They
in the
sound
relationship.
simple, but they're actually very hard to maintain.
They're hard to find as well. Like sometimes you just gotta like find a person who is on the same program as you. Like if the person likes like, yo, I would prefer if we just saw each other weekends, then the girl has to be okay with that, right?
Yeah.
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 Or if the guy was like, I don't want to live together for the first few years, then like, you know,
It's normal.
like you have to find the suitable person that matches, right? Okay. Any comments?
Nope.
Okay, let's see. Oh, here's a good one. What's the difference between a rough patch in a relationship and a toxic relationship?
Go ahead.
I don't know if, I feel like we wouldn't be able to identify that right now. Like it went toxic enough to just end, right? Maybe, hopefully, maybe not. Yeah.
So what's a rough patch mean then?
I think a rough patch is when you're having like a difficult time, like something is stressing the relationship and you're just like not on the same page. And I think a toxic relationship is when you kind of have the intentions, like your intentions are like you kind of want to hurt the other person, but you can't get away from them.
Like you'll name your oldest child. Your name is Rough Patch because as soon as you came. Okay, so rough patch is something that you can get through. It's not a deal breaker. And toxic is
Deal breakers.
you don't have the other person's best intention or best interest.
I mean, like you're really trying to like put it in a box, I think.
Like you really want to be with them, but you're just bad for each other and do bad things.
Values don't align.
Why is toxic so celebrated nowadays?
It's not.
No?
No. You think it's people want toxic relationships?
Yeah, like a lot of younger girls I run into, they don't want a vanilla nice dude. They want somebody that's gonna like put them in some kind of, you know, turmoil emotionally and make them like, you know, take them through ups and downs and roller coaster emotions. And
it's trauma bonding.
Yeah. I mean, okay, if you have enough game, then you can do that to a girl, right? But still maintain a healthy relationship. I think the toxic stuff is like, take it with a grain of salt, but like, yeah, you kind of want a little bit of that, but as long as it's not like too much, right?
I don't know.
So you want zero toxicness?
I don't think toxic is good. Yeah.
Even the food we eat has some toxic, you know, elements in it. Very trace.
I mean, I don't want a boring relationship. I don't want a boring relationship.
Yeah, so
I want someone that's exciting and like,
Adventures,
you know,
right?
But I don't think it has to be toxic to be that.
Right. So there's a difference between toxic and just not boring. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. We kind of touched on this a little bit, but is marriage what it used to be?
Times have changed. Society's changing. Right? Values are changing. I think a lot of people are trying to hold on to.
So values. We talked about values, right?
Yeah.
So marriage is all about values. Marriage itself is a value.
Yes.
So is the idea for marriage changing? I mean, there's so many guys out there that are like, they'll just talk about all the cons of marriage. Like, oh, it's a business deal and it's not the best deal for the guy or whatever. Like, we have all heard that argument before, right? But let's just say that like there are two mature, good people, right? Mm-hmm. Is the marriage like between a young person nowadays the same as it was for grandfathers, given they still have good values both?
It's a lot more distractions these days, right? Values are values.
What do you say, Miley? Let's say you had a super healthy man, right? And given the state of the world right now and how things are right now, do you think your marriage would be just as strong as your grandparents?
So I think back then marriage was less about love and more about
compatibility.
Damn.
I don't know, more about like survival and just being in part of a family. Today, I think the values are more like self-focused rather than family-focused.
Often confused with toxic, I think, too. But
Yeah. So I think that's the difference. Would my marriage be able to survive? I hope so. I hope I find someone.
So wait, does that change your thought process that like maybe I should be more family focused and survival focused as well versus like I want to feel that feeling of love?
I think it's a balance. I want both.
So no.
I think love is good to have, but if for it to last, you have to be able to like have periods in the relationship where you're like
conflict resolution.
You don't need that all the time, and you know that it will come back if you're focused on the family and maintaining that unit.
That's such a tough topic to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like you're foregoing your feelings for the better good of your life, I guess, essentially. But your feelings, like, you have to live with your feelings every day. So, yeah. Yeah, tough, huh?
Yeah.
Like, everybody wants Romeo and Juliet. Let's see. So, marriage is not what it used to be because of the points you talked about. Practically, that makes sense. Anything else on that? Okay. The role that family and friends play in a relationship.
Ooh.
Hopefully positive. Right? You would hope. It's on them, right?
Yeah. Anyone want to start with this one?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think family and friends' approval of who I'm dating is really important to me. Like, if the person I'm with.
But you said you were mature and you could make a good choice on what's good for you. So why would you need the approval of anyone else if you know that you're going to make the best choice for yourself?
Because my family and friends are also very important, and they're also like different facets of who I am, you know? So, and they're looking out for what's best for me. So maybe they see something that I don't see, you know. If the person's like really nice to me, maybe it's just short term, like they can be that in front of me, but then to everyone else, they're an asshole.
So you
like,
don't trust yourself?
No, I do trust myself.
But you don't fully trust yourself.
I don't think that I know everything. Like, I do trust the opinions of my friends and my family.
So you want their take, but ultimately you just want their take.
Right. I think their opinions are important. And I don't think that there's anyone in my life that would like judge someone, like misjudge someone so much that they would like have a conflict. They might not like them, but if there's a conflict, I think that's a really bad sign.
And the other thing too is like you're probably spending time with your family and friends, right? Mm-hmm. So you're gonna at some point bring that partner, and you want to see if they'll be compatible with the family and friends that you have.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I feel like that just relates to our whole tribalistic type manner of things too. You know, we're not gonna let some weirdo in either, right?
Yeah.
Switch it all up. Switch the family dynamic all up.
What if you were sure about this person? Granted, you're not a teenager and it's puppy love, but you were sure, you're in your later years and you're more mature and you're sure this is the type of person I need, but your family was disapproving or your friends were disapproving.
I would still take that into consideration. Like,
What would you act on it?
If your family and friends don't get along with someone, like to the point where you have to cut one of them out, I don't know. I'd have to know what the reason is. If the reason is a stupid reason, then I wouldn't think that my family or friends would have my back, and then maybe it's not worth keeping that. But if the reason is like a legitimate reason, then yeah, I would take that into consideration.
I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I'm making my choice, and I know that it's probably going to be the best choice for me. And
even if that means losing family and friends?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, for sure, friends. I don't give a fuck about that. But family, you know, everyone except for maybe the top 3, right? And then it'll be a harder decision. And then I'd have to think like, well, do I Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's also like you're not wanting to seem dumb in front of your family, right? Because, like, I feel like I've been in that situation too before. I mean, I shunned my family for my relationship, and then now that
No way.
but and now she left me, right? And now I'm the retarded one. Like, yo, you guys were right, right?
But here's the here's the thing too. Is like
take me back on your family though. Fuck.
So sometimes you have to make your own mistakes, right? Like even if your family could see that for you, but you don't see it, and then let's say you didn't go through that, you'll probably be attracted to the same type of person until you go through and you make that mistake and are like, wow, okay,
That's
like
true.
now I can see why. It's not just I'm taking your word for it, but like I understand why.
Evolved now.
Yeah. Like I've gone through that mistake and I've evolved to understand, okay, this is why they said that. Yeah, let me just touch the fucking stove and burn and learn on my own.
I think we as men do that a lot, right? People tell us, don't do it, don't touch it, right?
Don't put your tongue in the socket, Omid. No, I've never done that. Okay, boundaries that you think that relationships should always set in the beginning.
Interactions with the opposite sex.
That's a good one. How you feel about that? Wait. I'm going to ask the question again, but let's just go off on this tangent real quick. Let's say, you're dating the person. What is the boundary you're going to set with them as far as the opposite sex? No girlfriends ever. I don't even want you looking at girls.
Yeah, I think it's different for everyone. So
For you.
For me, I don't like guys that keep in contact with their exes.
Okay.
But it would apply to me as well. Like I would also not keep in contact. Like whatever I would hold him to, I would also do myself.
That's fair.
So
That's fair.
But yeah, I don't like when guys keep in touch with their exes.
No ex contact. What else?
I feel like if you have friends of the opposite sex, like they wouldn't be contacting you, texting you, calling you after like 10 p.m.
Fair. Okay. Because that implies some kind of sexual connotation there.
Yeah, I don't know. Just don't do it.
Okay. So no girls texting you after 10, no exes.
Yeah. And if, it's the beginning of the relationship and, those boundaries haven't been set up, like they have a little bit of a grace period, but at some point they have to like let them know like this is not cool, Anything
else? And I think those are really good ones, by the way.
I'd like to be introduced to whoever they want to keep in contact with.
Okay.
Yeah. I think those are my main three.
Okay, I'm going to come up with 3 and then you come up with 3 and then this will be the magic formula. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, 3.
You can't say the same 3.
All right. No, what I was just imagining what you just mentioned too is just like, yeah, they do the introducing. None of them get your approval, right? So then that's essentially.
No, that's not true. I'm actually really good friends with a lot of my male friends, wives, significant others and stuff. So it just depends on how you approach the situation. And I think I would be okay meeting with my boyfriend's, female friends.
Yeah.
As long as they're not like suspect, like they don't act weird. If they act like friends, like it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why you want to meet them in person, because you want to see how the vibe is.
That's true.
Okay, one is if I know he wants to fuck you and you find him attractive, then I wouldn't be okay with you keeping that friend around. It would be okay if he wants to fuck you, but you don't find him attractive, because if you did fuck him one day, I would just clown you for downgrading, But if he was... Yeah, that's probably one right there. It's like I just don't want him to be better than me and he wants to fuck you and you just be like, but we're just friends, because if anything happened between us, he'd be the go-to, and I know that.
You feel bad.
So that's one. I just thought of that right now, so I just blurted it out. But back to you, man.
All right.
What are boundaries you have to set with somebody in the beginning regarding
And
the
I can't
opposites.
say the ones you said. I think yours were pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
You know, That's
This is
pretty
a
spot on.
brainstorming sesh right now.
I mean, yeah.
Let's see.
I know
What
some
else?
of it.
Okay, I just met a girl. Oh, I know one. Okay. She cannot go out without asking me if either I want to come with her or ask for my permission to go out. She can't just go out, like I'm talking about nightclubs and bars. Like she can't just.
So it doesn't matter about who she's going out with, just going out in general. Like if she's going out with her girlfriends.
So that's why I said she has to ask me first, right? Because if I ask her, well, like, who are you gonna go with, and I know she's with her sluttiest friends, then I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm not really comfortable with that, you know? But if I know the friends, right? So that's a good point that you brought up. But initially, she just has to either invite me first or ask my permission if she can go. So that's like my number 2.
And what if her slutty friends are best friend?
Okay, let's talk about that for a second. Okay. If I started dating her, I'm not going to really know her best friends for the first few weeks. But eventually, I'll kind of dig in and understand who she hangs out with and who her best friends are. And then I'll have to meet them at some point. The moment I meet her, I know I'm not going to like her. So if that happens which will probably happen within the first like 3 months, right?
First
That will immediately paint a picture in my mind that like, maybe this is not right.
Okay, so then does a girl's friend, like her circle of friends, influence your
Yes.
idea of the girl?
Yes, 100%. You are who you hang out with. You are the 5 people you hang around with most. So, yeah, if her friend is just like bad for her, eventually she's going to say something in her ear to guide her in the wrong direction. So, yeah.
Do you oppose? Do you not think that?
I don't know, because I have a lot of friends like that drink, do drugs, you know, kind
We
of
got to stop hanging out then.
promiscuous. But I don't judge them. Like they're my friends. Like, you know, do what makes you happy. But I don't live that way.
And there's a difference between friends and acquaintances.
Yeah.
Like, how often are you hanging out with these people? You know, are they really friends or
Well,
are they just...
She did just say she would dump somebody because of her family and friends too, though. You know.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. So we kind of laid out some of the, I guess, foundational boundaries when it comes to the opposite sex. Is there any other ones? Like, you just met this person, you're dating, you know you're not going to be okay if they did this, so you want to say this boundary right away. Let me think too. Okay, I know one. If she prioritizes a nightlife, like, I'm not okay with that.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not okay with that. Like, she can't be the type of person who, like, that's just part of her life. Like, it's okay to do that, you know? Maybe
If she asks you for permission first.
Yeah, definitely. But the thing is like, if it's like a regular thing, I'd way rather be with like a fitness chick or a spirituality chick or a, you know, than to be with somebody who's like,
Nightlife.
oh, it's the weekend, yeah, and like type of attitude.
Oh man, maybe that's my mistake.
Yeah, guys are not attracted
I
to
was
that.
going out a lot, like.
And it depends. I mean, if you're in a certain time of your life where like that's acceptable, you know, fine. But if you,
You can enjoy it, right?
like, let's say you met the perfect guy, right? Like, you would think it'd probably be smart to not project that once you meet him, you know? Like, it's okay if you met him out.
Oh my gosh, I used to think like if I projected that, they'd think I'm like fun and exciting to be with.
No. And I think that's what a lot of girls think.
Yeah.
But guys will tell you otherwise. Well, okay, what do you think? Okay, let's say you meet 3 different chicks. The first chick is a nightlife girl. She's always like fun and wants to go out. Okay. The second girl is like she never goes out. She's just a
stage in life. I mean, at the end of the day, you're just gonna be back.
Okay, at the stage in life where you're trying to meet someone to marry them. Okay. The second girl, she's a fitness chick. She hardly ever goes out, and she's just all about, you know, yeah, just like well-being and all that stuff. And then the third girl is like a lawyer who yeah, she's just like, you know, kind of into her work and family and, you know, has a couple hobbies. Like, what would be the most attractive for you?
I guess the last two.
Yeah, versus the first, right? See, there you go. I mean, this is a very small sample size, but I'm sure a lot of guys would agree with that, unless they're like a promoter or something.
Well, and like I think there's a long-term view of it too. Like, I like to go out at night too, though. But like, and I like to drink. But then if I get out of shape, you're gonna leave me. So I was like, nah, I even can't have that much fun, right? I can't do this for like 10 years. It's not a long-term outlook there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if the dude likes to go out all the time, then that's okay. You'll meet that. But do you want that kind of guy that goes out all the time?
Takes her out.
I want a guy that will go out with me, like that feels comfortable in that environment. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's important, you know. You want
But do you
take
think?
another dance?
But you think that guy will be a quality guy that meets all the other values that
I
you
hope
want?
so. That's what I'm looking for.
So this guy, let me get this straight. Okay. This guy is willing to go out every weekend and drink and have a
Not
good time.
every weekend.
Whenever she
No.
wants to go out.
Every
Yeah.
other weekend. Okay. Want to be specific. All right. All right. He's willing to do all that, right? And he's also a man of faith. And he's also a man that's super respectful, you know, as far as like a long-term marriage. And he's also, like, he has all those traditional values as well. Do you think that's like that?
I mean, that's what I am.
I'm just saying it's probably low odds, but if you're willing to
I
take
know the
that
odds
gamble,
are low, but I just need one.
that's the whole point, is to get one. We all know that that's the game, but the odds are still real low of that. Statistics isn't Miley's best subject. Okay, let's change the. Okay, here's a good one. Green flags to look for early on in a relationship.
I wouldn't know. Wow.
A good relationship with family. I think that's a green flag.
Okay, what else?
I mean, if they don't have a good relationship, that's not a bad thing, but a green flag is if they do have a good one.
Okay, any others? You just met this guy. You're hitting it off great. He shows some really good signs. What are some of those?
He has a good career.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you a good green flag for a girl. Okay, she doesn't have to be like a great person who knows how to cook and great in the kitchen. She doesn't necessarily have to do that, right?
Okay.
But a good characteristic would be someone who is not proud of the fact that she can't cook. She doesn't like brag that. She's kind of a little bit apologetic about it. Like, yeah, I don't really know how to, but I wish I did. She doesn't say some dumb shit like, yeah, I'll put the rice in the microwave, knowing I'm a Persian and that's not how we make our rice, you know? And she's Persian too. Like, I had that happen to me recently. I had to unfollow her. So annoying. Okay. But we're talking about green flags. Let's stay on that. Okay, so other green flags, Matt.
Communication.
That's a good one.
Oh yeah, that's a really good one.
Right. I like providing context. Hopefully you could get that back too, right? Transparency.
Submissiveness. That's a good one for guys. We love that, right? No?
Both. I think we like it all.
Yeah.
Take
Like
it
someone that will let the man take the lead and be like, okay, leader, let's go. I'm waiting on you. Let's.
But a lot of guys don't take the lead.
Yeah.
That's like a problem. Like I would prefer to have a guy take the lead, but a lot of them don't even know how.
Let's give examples of what taking the lead means, because that's kind of hard to define.
Planning
sometimes.
a date. Like guys don't plan the date. They're like, oh, what do you want to do? Okay, we'll just do that. Like,
Yeah.
I thought that one was like pretty obvious.
yeah, no.
That's not the hard one. I think there's a lot harder leadership attributes in that. Okay, planning a date, sure.
I think it's a common one.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
I think there's a huge miscommunication though when it comes to understanding that though. I mean, I guess hold the floor here, but it's like guys too, they're not really given options too, so they try to provide that free will of an option because it's a luxury to them.
I really don't understand.
not
I
a shared
thought that was super obvious. Like, you're the guy, you plan the date. Like, you don't ask her where you want to go because it just seems real inconsistent,
That's true.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see other leadership qualities in relationship. Like, you. Okay, here's a good one. You don't let anyone talk bad about your girl, no matter how little it is.
Well, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Like, you want, as a leader, you want her to know that no one's going to disrespect you. And if they do, then I'll be the one on the front line.
Yeah, and I think that by a guy doing that, he's kind of, I mean, you're choosing her. So in a way, you're defending yourself too.
Yeah.
Like, if someone's going to say, oh, you picked this like lame girl to be with, like that's kind of an insult to you too.
Yeah. It's a representation of your image.
Yeah.
Okay, other leadership qualities that you would like to see in a guy?
I don't know.
Okay, let's talk about the vice versa. Submissive qualities you'd like to see in a girl, because then that would help us, understand leadership a little bit more. Okay. This is tough. Okay, I'm trying to brainstorm, but let's just.
What about cleanliness?
Yes.
What about it?
How important is that? Like, what do you expect? Do you expect her to clean up after you? Just clean up after herself? She doesn't have to be clean. Like, what's your expectation?
I don't think there's any difference between your girl's hygiene and living with someone else, for example. Like if you're living in a house with somebody else, you shouldn't leave crumbs behind you. You shouldn't wait for the other person to always take the trash out. You shouldn't like,
I don't know. I know some girls that are like, I don't take the trash out.
I mean, I kind of get that a little bit. Like, it's more of the masculine role to take the garbage out, especially like if it's like late at night and there's like a long driveway and it's kind of scary.
So if
like,
she's that way, it's okay for her to only cook. Right?
Okay, that's true. No, that's true. If she's saying that I'd never want to take the trash out, right? I'm gonna find that really annoying. But I'm gonna flip it back on her. Then I'm gonna be like, well, I never want to change a diaper, and if you're okay with that, then I'm okay with that. I'll always take the trash out if I don't have
to. There's a conflict there. There's a conflict resolution. I think that presents itself most of the times.
It's not a conflict if you talk about it early on enough.
True.
Like, hey, bitch, we discussed this.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so I'm gonna do more research on this. Like, what are good leadership qualities of a guy in a relationship? Yeah, I think there's a lot, but I just need to do the research on it. Okay, let's see.
Taking the lead seems to be the big one.
Yeah, like she touched on it. Just the organizing things, Don't wait for her to plan everything. But at the same time, like, the girl is kind of good at planning things like down the line in the relationship. Maybe not the first date, for sure not. But like eventually, like, the girl might want to take on that role.
I think there's different things that women are good at planning, and then there's different things that men are good at leading in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. The question was green flags for some green flags in the beginning of a relationship. So leadership in a man is a super green flag. What else? And this goes both ways.
Responding to texts right away.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a for sure good one.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, then you just think they're not interested, and then you just kind of give up. Mm-hmm. Any other ones?
I like when guys call. Like, they'll just pick up the phone and call as opposed to text.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder if that has to do with like our generation, kind of growing up with calling versus like texting kind of came on a little bit later. Mm-hmm. So like, because I hear a lot of people saying like, I don't want to talk on the phone. I'm like, what? That's so weird to me. But like,
yeah, that is weird to me too.
Yeah. Like, why wouldn't you want to hear the voice and be able to like get 10 different thoughts through in 1 minute versus like a text that, okay. So calling right away, showing leadership.
No, texting in response right away.
Oh, texting right away, calling, occasionally. Okay. Let's see. I got more here. Okay. Opposites attract or birds of a feather flock?
Go ahead.
I've always been, I feel like, victim of opposites attract.
So what would be the opposite of you, and what would you be attracted to? Is she like green skin and like
Yeah.
or like maybe a different ethnicity than you.
Yeah.
That's opposite, right?
Yeah.
Like you're
aesthetic wise, maybe even.
right. And then like probably personality traits, like
Yeah.
you're, you know, okay. So what would you say? Opposites attract or the same?
I think you have to have the same core values, but then opposite experiences and other things you can contribute to the relationship.
Okay.
But you do see a lot of like the same people that look like brothers and sisters together
Yeah.
too, right?
Okay, you're not talking about physical. You're just talking about the dynamic of the interactions that you have. So, okay, so your values are the same, but you complement each other on having different things, and that's kind of like opposites.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I think I agree with that. Wait, actually, let me think. Opposites? Do I want somebody totally different than me?
Like, I like talking to friends with different political views because they bring up aspects that I didn't consider. I'm like, oh, okay, I can see why you think that way. And then it'll give me a more full understanding of my position, and maybe I should like skew a little bit more a different way.
You're great. You're a great person.
I agree. That's why she's here.
I don't think having tunnel vision is ever good for anyone.
Oh, dang. At all.
Yeah.
Even.
I don't think tunnel vision is good. It's good to gather all the information and then come to your conclusion.
Like that tunnel right there? Oh,
Yeah, that's what I keep looking at.
They can't
It's
see
not
it in
good,
the
right?
They can't see it in the camera. We got to get the camera to point to the tunnel next time. Okay, let's just go through one more or two more questions and then we'll end it.
Quick.
Okay, this one's funny. Not funny, but would you rather be with somebody who is infatuated with you in a healthy way, in a long-term way, like you guys till you guys are 90 or 100, however long you live?
That sounds like the romance is a lot.
Okay,
right?
or would you rather have someone who always has your best interest?
Right.
And I mean, I'm sure you could have both of them, but like if you had to choose, which characteristic is the majority stronger? Somebody who is infatuated with you until the day you die, or someone who has your best interest for you until the day you die?
So I mean, I got done listening to Suicidal Tendencies, the song. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but like, how are you gonna tell me what my best interest is? 'Cause
Yeah.
Even at times, you're even gonna like, you don't even know what you like at times, right? Or you're gonna change your mind.
But if she did though, and you've communicated that with you, and you know, like,
Infatuation.
Love me, loving me. Spitting out, right?
would you rather have someone you're infatuated with and you stay with them till 90, or they're infatuated with you?
No, I want them infatuated with me.
Oh yeah.
You're lying. I'm infatuated with you,
I
and you
wouldn't-
turned me down. No, okay, so no, but that's that. I don't know. That's a tough one, right? Like, I want the girl to have my best interest, but at the same time, I want her to like worship the ground I walk on.
But I know what my best interests are. I don't need someone to tell me that.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Do you agree with her?
Yeah.
You know what your best interests are? You said that too, right?
I think. Let me decide.
I mean, even if someone tells you this is in your best interest, at that moment, like, you're going to do what you're going to do,
Yeah.
you know?
What if you disagree with them? You're like, that's not my best interest right now. Even though I said it was.
No, but what if you don't know? What if you don't know? What if you think you know but you don't?
Yeah, but you're not going to take someone, I don't know. I wouldn't take someone else's idea of what's in my best interest over my own idea.
Back to the idea of like, let me make my own mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got you. All right, here's the last one. Biggest mistakes you see people making on dating profiles. Dating app profiles.
Like when you see a profile and you're like, no. Like,
Toxic.
what is
Like-
there?
Like it could be, it kind of boils down to the picture and the bio, right? Like in the bio you read and you're like, no. Or like in the picture you're like, no. And it doesn't have anything to do with like if they're attractive or not. It just like super off.
No. Yeah. Anything mentioning toxic, sorry.
Okay, if you don't have your first picture as you and it's like your dog. Like, bitch, what
Oh,
the fuck?
yeah.
Okay, that's one.
Yeah.
If they say anything along the lines of swipe right if this, swipe left if this, like,
yeah,
bitch, I'm already
I hate
swiping.
that.
What else? Requirements must be this, this, and this.
Yeah.
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 I saw a girl say something like looking for, and she wasn't nothing to brag about, and she was like, he must be wealthy, 6-pack, and 6'5". And I'm like, bitch, you're crazy. Every girl wants that guy, and you're not gonna get him. Not with that attitude. What else? I know there's some things that you just seen in a dating profile, and you're like, what the hell?
I mean, there are some really like arrogant profiles where they're just like I'm gonna rock your world kind of thing, and you're just like, okay.
Okay, so like the braggadociousness.
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
There's some that like they give a little too much information.
Oh, what's too much?
Oh, that's a really good one, actually. Yeah, like they have like a couple paragraphs talking about everything they like, and they don't leave any room for mystery.
Yeah.
Shit, I probably should change my shit now.
Well, yeah, what parts are supposed to be mysterious, right?
I think less is more. Like,
Yeah, I think you should be able to derive that information from the conversation with the person.
Phone call time.
Yeah.
Something weird happened to me the other day. Like, I was talking to these two girls in a dating app, and it was going so good. They just was like responding so well, writing paragraphs back to me and everything. And then as soon as they asked, what's up? As soon as they asked, they were like, oh, can I see your Instagram? And like, I was like, sure. I didn't think it was going to do anything. And like, now my Instagram has all like the podcast stuff on it and like some of the drone stuff on it or whatever. And they just unfollowed me after that. And I was like, I don't get it.
Disappeared?
Like, yeah. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was just like, that was strange. You know, like you wanted to maybe they had like pictured a mystery in their head, and then they saw all the stories and like they were like, nah. Or like maybe they're like, I don't want a player type of podcast guy. I want someone that's like real mature and stable. Like, I don't know what it was like, but
the billionaire comments.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have any billionaire comments. I have a lot of motivational stuff, but like I don't talk about billionaire or nothing. I don't know what it was.
I think a lot of us always fight internally too with those values.
Yeah. All right, you guys, we're going to end the stream. I think this was a lot of fun. We're going to probably play a little bit of Taboo right now, and then we're going to hit the beach to fly the drone, which should be a lot of fun too. If I could just find this end stream button.
Hot topics.
There we go.